So picking up energies of other people. So when you listen to a non-duality speaker, there's some speakers you'll resonate with and some that you won't. And to me, what resonating means is there's a sense of what that person's speaking about. So when I speak about non-duality, there's a sense of it, a remembering beyond the person. And then on the personal level, there's a vibration with that energy, that peaceful energy that comes with this. So when you walk into a room of people, or if you walk into a room and somebody's really angry, you can instantly detect that if you're sensitive, that somebody's angry. So if you walk in, you meet somebody that's more peaceful and more in line, you can feel that. And picking up energies is always happening in your workplace, home, with your lover, your children. And it's a very complicated thing because what is the difference between your energy and their energy? On the ultimate level, they're all happening in presence. They're all happening in the empty looking and the I am. So it's actually you. So if you walk into a room and there's somebody with anger, it's actually your anger as wholeness. It's your illusion as wholeness. On the character level, you can name it. You can say it's John's anger or Helen's anger, and I'm not angry. But on the human level, you can also pick it up. So if you're with somebody in a car, say, and they're really angry and they start having a tantrum, your energy begins to pick it up and you begin to feel like that. The same with if that person is really blissful and really happy. But on the human level, that's a really hard thing to tell. Like, how do you tell who and what is whose energy? So say if the wind blows and the tree moves, you can't really say it's the wind's fault and the poor tree. It's just an energy that happens. So if you walk into a room and there's really bad or very painful energy and you pick it up, it's not anybody's fault, it's life, it's the perfect expression of life. When I pick up energies and when I feel people's energies, I feel them as my own on the human level. So it's not like I think in my head, okay, this is Darren's energy that I'm picking up. I feel them as actually my own. So it just comes as painful energy. Today I was in the hospital, not for myself, I was visiting a family member, and by the end of the visit, so it was like a 3-hour visit, I felt so ill. And when I came back to the house, I only just got back before the session, maybe like an hour before, I just sat down and I fell asleep for 45 minutes and I woke up, that energy was gone. I felt physically like drained. So I was in the hospital and bit by bit, like my body couldn't sit up any longer. There's a lot of suffering in the place we're at because we're in the advanced or the cancer ward, and most people are very advanced cancer there. So there's a lot of mental suffering from visitors and from the people that are in the hospital. And I could just feel it bit by bit. Now, whose energy is that? Like, when you want to blame and define, you'll sit up and be like, it's their energy but it's not really their energy. It's like the wind blowing the tree. It's oneness's energy, and it's just what comes into presence. If you don't take it personally, then it will just pass. So if you don't get involved in it, so what it felt like to me was extreme exhaustion, which I think is most probably what a lot of the patients feel in the cancer ward. It felt like extreme exhaustion, and like my body was like, I can't really describe the emotions, because it wasn't emotions as much, it was like more physical pain, and it was grumpiness as well. Like if somebody had wanted too much from me and required too much from me, like even when I had to go, I had to pick up all the stuff and put it in the bin that we brought, and even that was a lot for my body to do. And if somebody had required too much from me, I can imagine I would have verbally snapped at them, like I would have been grumpy. It felt like a hangover, actually. You know when you get really drunk and the next day you're super sensitive? It felt like that. And that to me is what happens to me with picking up energies. Like I just feel them as my own on the human level. And then as soon as I left the hospital, I just slept for 45 minutes, and then I woke up 15 minutes before here, and then ding! The general personality of Lisa is back. And when I feel it, I just totally feel it. So I totally surrender to it. Like I totally let it overtake me. And I don't think too much about it being somebody else's energy. I just see it as that's what's appearing now. That's something that's appearing now. And that's the altar. That's what we have to worship, is that immense pain. I don't think about why or what it means. I just totally surrender into that pain. So then when we drove home, I felt physically sick as well. And the roads to this hospital are super bendy. We've had this problem before because a family member that's got cancer, they get very sick, and so just driving backwards and forwards to this hospital is always a struggle they weren't in the car, they're staying in the hospital at the moment, but it's always a struggle for them because these roads are so bumpy and bendy. And so I had that experience where we were driving along and I was like, oh! And I felt so super sick. It's not a long drive though. And this is my experience of picking up energies, and there's nothing to be done about it. There's nothing to work out. There's nothing to understand. You treat it as if it's your energy, and you put your attention totally into the moment, like everything. You just totally embrace what's appearing now, and you don't need to think about it. You can release it if you want. So if I wasn't feeling particularly strong emotions, it was physical pain that I was in. And you just allow it to flow through your body. If the mentality gets hold of it, the mentality will start thinking, why am I feeling like this? Whose fault it is? I've got to get rid of this. Why is this happening? This is terrible. Whatever the mentality does. And then it seeks to try to avoid the feelings. But to me, everything in life is about embracing whatever appears. And I'm sure that you hear this from all speakers. It's not about having the perfect state. It's about embracing what's happening and not trying to escape it through bitching about it, not wanting it, avoiding it, moaning about it, through absolutely embracing it. And if you need to emotionally release things, then I can help you emotionally release. You can either write to me on this session, or you can call in and I can talk you through an emotional release. if there's something that keeps getting stuck in you, or we can do a one-to-one session. But the key to it is, even in the emotional release, is absolute embracing. Even in the emotional release, all I do is just guide you into it, because a lot of the time people want to jump up into stories. So it's like they're feeling these difficult feelings, and rather than absolutely embracing them for what they are, like really embracing those feelings, they want to jump up into an excuse, into a form of blame, into a form of guilt, into a form of rationalization and trying to get out of it. And it's really about embracing it nakedly. It's not about being enlightened or getting to anything. It's absolutely embracing everything that comes. And this is where the freedom is, and this is how the feelings pass through the body. When you don't embrace it, then you can stay in feelings for weeks, months, years.